for now to break down that game and talk about the rest of the tournament. Send it over the dash.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Dominating victory out of RNG there. 23 minutes and 15 seconds, our fastest of the tournament. And I feel like these guys are really just turning the screws, right? It's final day of group stages. They did suffer that loss from CLG yesterday, so they're coming back into it saying, we're not pulling any punches today.
Yeah, there's not much left to analyze this game. I think everybody at home could be like, yeah, this is where they won the game. But there was a couple individual plays. I think that was really awesome to see, and they happen almost consistently every game.
Yeah, consistently, but in different ways, right? These level ones is what Crepo is talking about, and how ModUp does push the envelope with that.
Yeah, I just want to say something about the Turkish thing. I think they had a good draft coming in. They said they're not going to win the top, they're not going to win the mid. Let's just make everything about Achu and let's just play around him. Highest CSD this tournament so far, my number in 3. Stretch that even further this game. And if you look at the early proactive play, they actually got a 3-for-1 in the bottom. But then everything else happened.
Yeah, so let's talk about, back to Kobe's point, the level ones, right? What this team is able to do very early on in the game on the side of RNG. The first blood, I mean, coming before minions spawn, but this is the kind of thing that RNG seem to do time and time again.
But like, which support's actually gonna flash in an exhauster? Like,
Braum. Braum's probably the only one.
Not in terms of champion, but just for Mala, just to go for that. Like, he gets a stack, and there's almost no hesitation, because he also knows, if I flash, my team knows that they better flash, because maybe he doesn't go to a translator, and if they don't flash, he'll give them the short end of the stick after the game.
I think he's just like, kill, kill, kill. And everyone's like, okay, we better kill this guy, or else we're going to get... But the thing is, they weren't even done after that, right? It's how they capitalize on things that they gain in these level ones. Then they set up with the Twitch, and they do a second invade, and Stomage was out of this game after that.
Absolutely.
As a jungler, he got pushed up his own jungle level 1.
And that's, for me, is the most impressive thing about Malta. Like, not only does he, like, is he really good at warding, you know, knowing where to be on the map, but he can read the situations like, okay, if I go in here, these are the limits. And then he generally always is right. Like, so many fights he gets out on a sliver of health, or he just initiates a team fight where, yeah, he loses his life, but his team will convincingly win that. That example, too, so many first spots here on the back of his game reads, you know, and his team blindly follows him because they clearly trust him.
And Stomage being out of the game means MLXG is even more in the game, and that's a terrifying prospect for any team going up against RNG. And I want to fast forward a little bit, 13 minutes into the game, which is it's a little past the halfway mark of this game, actually, which is what's crazy. 4-for-0 in the bot lane for RNG, but again, this just kind of shows their ability to set up and create plays so easily.
I like the opening. It's good. Achu's going in, going ham, but sadly they're so far behind. Another instant teleport, something RNG have worked on and didn't do so well, and then Xiaohu comes in later for the swag points.
Oh man, yeah, we want to put the spotlight here on Xiaohu for the roam for Azir here. This is such a beautiful slide from him, and he's going to be able to get 2. Since we didn't see the full second 1-versus-1 that he had with the 2 here, there's just nothing that he could do get away from him. But man, you talked about earlier the Chinese muscle on RNG, and Xiaohu and Woosh and MLXG are definitely a big part of that.
Yeah, I actually think that if you look at that play, like, the Turkish team is going proactive, but the scary thing about RNG is they're playing reactive and then they're just winning off mechanics.
Well, right. I mean, SuperMassive proactive, yet their TP comes in second. Rooper is just on point with those, making sure that he's backing up his team anytime they find themselves in maybe a hairy situation.
But to touch on that play again, I think so many Azir players would they would do the QE play, but they would just go up. They would go and then walk around the bush and see if they can slow them down. Like, to see that you can actually curve over that wall and just get at the end of that is actually a really good read.
That was almost a full screen of distance.
Yeah, I don't see it that often anymore, so it's really good to see really skilled Azir players, because it's such a fun champion to watch with like an incredibly high ceiling.
All in all, starting our day off with a very quick win for RNG, padding their stats as they move into the bracket stages. Now, though, it's time to send it down to Shox for a word with a member of the group stages #1 squad.
Thank you very much, Dash. I'm joined here by Wuxing, as I was advised by Wenson is the correct pronunciation, for the 80 carry for RNG after locking in the first spot in the group stage going into playoffs. Now, Wuxing, after that game yesterday versus CLG, now you play the fastest game of the tournament so far. How important was it to have a good showing here on the final day of group stage after that loss?
就是你们昨天最后一场比赛输给了 CLG， 但今天你们非常快的，应该是这届 MSI 最快的一场胜利，23分钟战胜了这比赛的对手。你觉得在比赛的最后一天，小组赛的最后一天有这么快的这么一场胜利，对你们意味着什么？
首先 为昨天输了之后嘛，可能也是当时打的有点大意了，而且也自己很认真的检讨过，所以说今天打的稍微特别认真一点，所以说不会犯那些不必要的失误了。
So they did play a little bit careless yesterday, and this game they're trying to correct their attitude and play the right game and try not to make those mistakes again.
And it was a very good game indeed. Now, you've had a good tournament so far, but there's been a lot of popping up AD carry talent. What do you make of the competition AD carry-wise this MSI?
这次 MSI 有非常多的优秀的 ADC， 你觉得其他 ADC 你怎么评价？你可以跟我们稍微点评一下。
每个 AD 都很屌，但我觉得就细节处理最好的 AD 应该是 CL。
哎，明显大家这个热情程度不够。
Oh.
可以再说一遍吗？
就是我觉得他每个队的 AD 都很厉害，但是我觉得细节上处理最好的 ADC 应该是 CLG 的 AD。
Maybe repeat. It was
Yeah,
hard for
it's
you to
pretty loud
understand.
in the stadium. 最好的 ADC 是谁
？CLG 的 AD。
Okay, so he's saying that all the ADC in this tournament are playing phenomenal, but the best one he thinks is Stixie from CLG.
Wow, fantastic. Well, he is a very much up-and-coming AD carry. Now, we saw you talking in a video about your support Mata and how important he is for the team, but I'd love to know what he has meant to you as an AD carry player and his, of course, sidekick specifically and your growth.
这次 MSI 呢 ，Mata 表现非常好，大家也都知道 Mata 对你们的重要性很大。那你觉得 Mata 对你有什么特别的作用吗？
每次比赛完吧，不管是输赢，他都会就是跟我说特别多东西，让就是在我没有发现的很多东西上，他会提醒我，然后告诉我要我去怎么做，所以说对我帮助是特别大的。而且我觉得我这次来这边这几天进步也挺大的吧。
So Mata actually means a lot to him. Like whenever they play, Mata will comment on his gameplay and teach him a lot. So coming to MSI, he think he learned a lot from Mata, and it's really good.
All right, well, it is getting really loud in here, so we're going to cut this short. But thank you very much, and congratulations, Wuxing and Wenson. Thank you. It was a little bit difficult here under the circumstances, but that is RNG locking in the first spot in the group stage. Going into playoffs, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to see that man he talked about, Stixie, on the Rift in just a second as CLG goes up against the Flash Wolves. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Game one of the final day of the group stage. World Never Give Up here to secure a #1 seed heading into the playoffs. SuperMassive need to win this and their next to upgrade themselves to 5th place in this one. Takes a whole heap of damage, not going to choose to flash the wall. He will go for another kill. Huge misplays to start the day from SuperMassive, and Royal are crushing it. The kill turns one around, but now Thaldrin back onto Woosh, gets the root, will be getting the kill. A 2 for 2 overall, but now Naru's here. This could be advantage, and it will be SuperMassive 3-2 in that fight. To the front line he goes, can't kill off Woosh, he Qs us off the ultimate. Achu goes down as well. Stomage forced to run. Looper, gotta run away through the ignite. Stomage will be next off, falls down out of the turret.